Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to a very special Conan Exiles developer live stream. My name is Andy Bandit with the community team. Oops, let me just make sure that this is off. And I'm joined here with Nicole, who's a disembodied voice in the back, but we'll be taking your, hey, hello. We'll be taking your questions in chat, and joined also by the illustrious Dennis Dalfett, lead designer on Conan Exiles.
Hey, everyone. Super happy to be here.
Yeah, man. And big shout outs to our support team and other community folks in Twitch chat today. Say hey to them. They'll be here just like hanging out, talking with you, making sure no rabble rousing happens in chat. So if you're tuning in for the first time, we're going to be talking a lot today. So we are going to be focusing on talking about a whole bunch of different things, taking a look back at the age of sorcery, what's coming next, and so on. And so we're going to be focusing on that a lot. So we'll be taking questions from chat as much as we can, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. But we're going to be going through our segments first, and then opening up bits for Q&A a little bit later. And Nicole will be taking your questions in chat as well. And we'll do what we can for that. Let's see, any other housekeeping things? Let's see. Nope, yeah, we have Nicole here. We have our amazing support team in all our studios, just saying hello and hoping to answer your questions as well. We might have some developers in chat as well, helping answer questions in case we don't see them. I think that's about it as far as introductions go. This is going to be very exciting. Basically this is going to be more or less almost like a podcast format, actually. Like, I know a lot of people like to listen to these things in the background while they work or something like that. But there'll be plenty of visual references and aids that you might want to check later. But don't worry, there will be a recording of this stream put up on our Twitch channel and later on our YouTube channel as well. Anything you'd like to add before we jump into things?
No, we got a lot to go through, a lot to show.
God, yeah. Sorry, one sec.
Gotta get moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, and you might see me occasionally. It's very warm in here, so and I'm a little nervous, so I have to pat myself down once in a bit. So before we jump into the reason why I think a lot of you are here, first we wanted to take a quick look back at the age of sorcery as like a whole thing. So when we initially launched the Age of Sorcery and the time moving up to it, we had intended to add a lot of things, and a lot of things like being the bazaar, the battle pass, an ongoing narrative, the challenge system, world events,
and sorcery,
and that's a lot of stuff, and it's scary when you add a lot of stuff all at once. So main objectives of Age of Sorcery were, of course, to add sorcery, which is one of the big commitments that we made back in the early access launch in 2017, or during early access in 2017. A lot of work went into this, a lot of testing went into it, and we had a lot of clenching going on when you first launch it, because it's a lot to take in, it's a lot to put out.
Can you turn down the music just a little?
Turn down the music, sorry about that. Yeah. My apologies. I'll let you fill in those blanks. Chat, what do you think we clenched? In any case, yes, clenching of the Amazon. So going into the actual launch of Age of Sorcery back last September, we're actually super stoked to say that the launch went incredibly well. We hit at least on Steam, the third highest concurrent user base or population seen during a launch, only exceeded by the original 2018 official launch and the 2017 early access launch. So that's freaking awesome. And in fact, so we had a free week promo with Steam during the Age of Sorcery launch, and the following weekend after the free week ended, our population was even higher. Which is also really cool. We were super happy to see that. And on my end, I was looking at the Steam or the forum dashboard, and we had we vastly exceeded the original plan that we had with their provider, and daily active users and posts like more than like quadrupled or almost quintupled in some cases. Like there were a lot of y'all showing up for this, which is really cool. And then, you know, now that things kind of like even out a bit, you know, checking in on the health of the game, you know, on average, there are more of you playing, and each and every one of you are playing longer sessions, like substantially longer sessions each time you're logging in and playing. Which is, part of my language, fucking awesome. So, so thank you all so much for your support. And yeah, thanks for sticking with us, and yeah, thanks for making the Age of Sorcery launch just amazing. So we really appreciate it. Hooray! A round of applause for everyone, all of you tuning in today. Thank you so much, and of course to all, you know, Dennis and all the developers and all of us here kind of working our asses off to bring you some cool stuff in the land of Hyboria. Spill some blood in the name of entertainment, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a stream unless I curse at least once. I used to curse a lot more on old streams, but trying to clean up my act these days. So yeah, that's a little like look back at Age of Sorcery. Are there any like remarks or anything like you'd like to add as Mr. Developer Man's leading the charge on this?
Yeah. Also, just so you guys know, a lot of stuff we do is just going to be on the spot today. So
yeah, we have a good plan, but like,
yeah, we haven't really planned exactly what we'll say, but sorcery.
I mean, we sort of did, but yeah.
Sorcery, making sorcery and everything was. It took us a really long time to get through all the stuff we had to put out and get the store out and everything. I mean, I think we were in development for somewhere between 1.5 and 2 years or something like that. And
wow.
when you work for a long time like that without showing things to people, you maybe sometimes feel like, hey, are we doing the right thing? Are we going to hit the mark here, or are we just totally messing up and we're going to find out we wasted a lot of time? But you know, the reception has been amazing. The actual release of Sorcery was probably one of the most emotional moments in my entire career, because just seeing everyone freak out in chat, seeing the trailer reveal and everything was was amazing.
Well, and there was also the kind of people. Some folks got to see a little bit earlier than intended.
Some people did, but it was a small number.
Yeah.
Everyone that actually got to see it, and it was a blast.
Yeah,
we were all super tired. I remember doing the Sorcery stream immediately, like. You know, after that weekend, and we came in, and I was just like, I was bushed, bud.
Bruh, you know? We were all like, bruh.
It was hard. It was hard to get through, but it was so exciting. It was like almost like a second wind hit you, you know. And even though your eyes are drooping and you're kind of falling over the keyboard, it was still a lot of fun. And yeah, it has been it's been so awesome to see the community get so much bigger, and we have so many players now, and so many new players too. Like the number of new players is insanely high.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I haven't looked at all those.
It's the thing. I'm probably not allowed to talk about numbers with it, so I just won't. But I'm really happy to see a lot of new people coming in and staying to see what's coming up next with Exiles. And you know, our 3-month release cadence is you know, I think being really helpful in terms of keeping people in and playing and interested.
Yeah, it's a ton of work. Like, you know, live service is not an easy task at all, but it's also a really exciting, like, it's really exciting to have that kind of cadence, because then we can now move forward with like a more set plan for like the kind of content that we want to release, and also gives us an opportunity to also finally add like a continuing, like, advancing plot within the Exiled Lands.
Indeed.
Yes.
Or multiple plots.
Well, multiple plots, huh? What? Maybe we should talk about what the next parts are.
Yeah, let's
maybe. I figure that's what most people are here for. So, friends and foes and siblings of battle, we would like to welcome you soon to. Okay, don't mess this up.
And the crowd goes wild.
Wowie zowie!
Yes, welcome to the Age of War.
Indeed. let's see, bloodshed and the clashing of steel and wits is just like as entwined within like the Hyborian, like Conan DNA as like punching camels, right? Like it is
More so, I would say.
more so, yeah. Like it is essential to the Conan like experience, and we're going to be embracing that wholeheartedly in the coming months. So very exciting indeed. Age of War. So, why war? What's going on? What's the thing?
Why
What's
war?
the deal?
So, if ever there's a question about what the next age will be, one of the best things you can do is look to the community. See what people are requesting the most and what people want to see in the game, what kind of complaints people have, things like that, because we always want to try to make the game better for everyone. So, the Age of War was an idea for an opportunity to focus on updates to the combat system, and one of the biggest things is the Purge. So we'll talk more about the actual cadence of releases
Yes.
and what we'll be getting into, but the biggest things we'll focus on in the Age of War is actual combat with your character against AI and the Purge content itself.
Yes. So we actually have, so the Age of War is also going to be a little bit different from the Age of Sorcery in that a lot of the things that we're going to be adding in the first chapter is like a major foundation to the things that we want to build toward for the future updates or future chapters for Age of War. So, Dennis just touched on like purges. There'll be more details about that later, because we're just going to give you a quick roadmap on exactly what our aims are with the coming age. Give me just one moment here. There we go. So, the first chapter will include new clan features and new clan social features, including the ability, well, we'll go into it in a little bit, but the ability to create and collect treasure and currency for your clan. Finally being able to display customize and display a clan emblem as well as clan permissions, and as also Dennis said, the beginning of a substantial improvement to the combat system, like in all the combat mechanics within Conan Exiles. And then later on in Chapter 2, we'll have a huge new update for purges, which we'll be going into. We unfortunately won't be able to go into a ton today, but obviously stay tuned because it's all in testing right now. And we have a lot of stuff that I'm really excited to show. And then you might see this in Chapter 3. You'll just have to wait till later to find out more about that. But let that whet your palate. I know it doesn't slake your thirst for more, but stay tuned, friends. So yeah, let's see. Quick.
Andy, do you want me to do a little quick overview of each of those chapters as well?
Yeah.
I know we've got that page, and we'll go more into detail about Chapter 1 today.
Yeah.
We probably won't talk a lot about Chapter 2 and Chapter 3.
Sure.
But I can give you guys a kind of rundown on that now.
Okay. Yeah, please.
So in Chapter 1, one of the largest activities you'll be doing, and most of the content will be formed around collection and building. So you'll be able to create your own treasure room inside your base, and there will be some specific kind of treasure that you need to go out and bring back. A lot of things that have sort of value to people already, like gems and ore and coins and things like that, will be marked as treasure. And we'll show some more stuff off about that later as well. But the whole point is you're collecting money, bringing it back to your base, and keeping a tally of how much money you have. So in Chapter 2, that's when the Purge revamp mechanics will come in. And we've taken the Purge system and completely removed what was there before and written a new Purge from the ground up that will be a completely different experience than the Purge as it exists now. We're looking at something that's a lot more warlike. Like a base will form out, an enemy forward operating base will form outside of your base. They'll set up, catapults and attack with waves towards key points in your base, trying to breach to that treasure room so they can steal the treasure and take it away from you. You'll be able to spend that treasure to buy things to help reinforce your base and go up higher and higher difficulty in the Purge. So it will be kind of like a progression of sorts where you fight weak ones and then you fight stronger and stronger ones. And it all kind of depends how much money you have. And the reason for that is rooted in the Purge lore that we already have. So, we already have the relic hunters in the Exiled Lands. We have the Purge coming through and attacking you. The story behind the Purge and the relic hunters is that they're both in the Exiled Lands in search of riches, right? They're there to find things that are worth money and take them out. So now that's what they'll actually do. We'll have relic hunters in the second chapter that will attack you when you're trying to carry treasure to your base. And whenever the actual purge occurs as well, those will all be kind of themed around the people like, trying to come get those things from you. And then in the third chapter, you'll be able to turn the tables on the people that are attacking you and go back to their base and assault them and steal from them.
And of course, another essential thing or element, I think, of a lot of Robert E. Howard's old stories is also Conan is oftentimes depicted as a thief as well, stealing from the rich or having these jobs to go infiltrate a tower to find some incredible treasure or gem or something like that. In fact, in our old MMO, Age of Conan, the barbarian class was actually considered a rogue class because even though barbarians, I guess, in fantasy tropes are supposed to be the unga bunga swing fight stuff, but Conan's version of barbarianism is just not being a part of whatever civilized society is, and kind of living on the brink or living on the outskirts of that, and sticking it to the man and to the rich guys, and then fending from stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot about cutthroat and cunning more so than it is about just brute force, and of course money and riches and greed are the root of much conflict and war.
Indeed.
In general. So.
And that, as you'll see, is the motivation for what will be unfolding in the Exiled Lands.
So to take a step back, so you may have heard Dennis talk about treasures and being able to carry treasures and be able to grow your hoard. That's what's going in. We have Chapter 1, and that's something that we can actually show you today and show you how that works and show you how that can be the foundation for everything else that we're working toward as well.
Yeah. And there's a little more stuff I'll talk about too a little bit later, but the whole idea is kind of having this central currency system that you can use to pay into other systems in the game later down the line.
Yeah, so finally a better use for those gold coins and the gold bars that you might find here and there too. Instead of just melting them down or throwing them in the getting dust for them or something like that. So they'll actually have a value that you can add to your hoard as well. We can show that off, I guess, too. So we have a little, let's just do live.
People are also wondering, they love the mug that you're doing.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of chat. They're like, oh, can we play prom coins for that mug? No, this is supposed to be an internal thing. We got this for our summer party, I think. So sorry for the green screen effect, but it's a Funcom branded mug, and then on the back is this you can trust.
It's supposed to be for beer, right? Or
yeah, it was originally supposed to be a beer mug. So yeah, this you can trust. It's a reference to the old Riddle of Steel, or I think it was Riddle of Steel. It's when it was a vision of Conan's father telling him you can trust no man, and hands him a sword and implying this you can trust, implying that the steel at your side is the only thing that you can trust, yourself and your arms, as it were.
From the first Schwarzenegger movie.
That's what it was. That's right. Oh yeah, seeing Arnold showing excitement on potentially reprising his role as Conan or something, that'd be really cool. Okay, so before I get into that, before I get sidetracked, as I do sometimes because I have terrible ADHD, let's swap to in-game view. Hello? Okay, hold on. Oh, that's why. Hello.
Are we going to the Horde?
Yeah, let's show off the Horde.
I don't know where it is.
Oh, it's in the main building here. So yeah,
This one?
So just go through those big 3 doors, and it's just pretty much straight ahead. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool building set.
Yeah, so here we're also, of course, so the update, of course, will also include, as you might expect, and we'll go into it later as well, new building pieces, new costumes, new doors and decorations. And of course, new placeables. But we'll show some of that stuff off in a little bit. So here we have a custom treasure room made for our guild or clan called the Hunters, sporting a custom emblem that I just threw together, which we'll show in a little bit too. And so this basically shows you that when you create a clan, you can create a room and you place down your first like hoard, like centerpiece. I don't know exactly what you would call it, but
It's the coffer.
the coffer. Okay, yeah. So the bench, or like the placeable for it, the building for it. Visually, it's represented by a large chest, and also comes bundled with a friendly accountant. They're checking your books for you, and then you can also check your clan's total, currency value, or like what's in your hoard by like simply interacting with it to see what's all there. And all items, like so you saw in the chest, for example, there's a bunch of like gold and gold coins that you just place directly into the chest, and it will be counted for your hoard. And then you may have noticed on that list also a couple of yes. So anything marked treasure will count towards your clan's hoard total. Now, when Dennis was talking to our friend here, you might have also noticed a couple entries at the bottom that. Ancient Lemurian statue, for example, Drakedo cat idol, and you can see they're worth a ton in comparison. So what are these? These are called heroic treasures. In addition to carrying around, gold or gold coins or gold bars in your inventory, we also have these giant centerpieces that are worth a ton. They're larger than life. You can't quite fit them in your pockets, and so you have to haul them around. They're big.
Oops.
So big, in fact.
That the walking animation
Yeah.
doesn't work correctly yet.
Still in development, folks. Yeah, everything shown here today is still in development. Is subject to change. You might see a couple bugs here and there. Please excuse us for this. But yeah, so when you find heroic treasure, and you'll find heroic treasure in various camps throughout both Isle of Sipta and the Exiled Lands. When you clear the camp, you can then pick up the heroic treasure and transport it back to your base. Now, the exciting part is when you're holding it, you're slowed, you have to haul it around, and you're completely vulnerable while you're holding it. So it's very important that you we highly suggest bringing some friends that you trust.
It is really fun with friends.
It is, yeah.
Like going through a camp with just a bunch of guys coming to attack you, and that's kind of part of, why in Chapter 2 we'll see another evolution of this. But in Chapter 1, you'll just have to defend from the native population, whatever camp you're walking through. And in Chapter 2, we're going to have it so relic hunters actually ambush you, trying to take the treasure from you while you're carrying it.
Yeah, so I was seeing in chat also, can it be dropped? Yes. So if you do get ambushed, you can drop it and then take up arms if you really need to, obviously.
Like any action.
Yeah. So
Whoopsie, that wasn't the cat. Yeah, so anything you do, I just jumped there, that'll do it.
Yeah, so you just drop it. And so, I saw another question in chat. I think they said, can thralls pick it up or anything like that? I don't think currently, but I believe you can teleport with the treasures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can teleport with them. We have kind of some stretch goals to be able to, let thralls or mounts carry them later down the road. But for the initial release, it's not the case. I'm not even sure that we'll do it during this age or not. Mm-hmm. But it is a thing that we've been talking about and thinking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that got brought up an internal playtest and stuff like that too. And so also something to note, sometimes you notice also this big room-wide VFX there, all that funky stuff. That's kind of the area, the sphere of influence for your horde. So any treasures, any big treasures placed within that area will be considered as part of your horde. So you can see it's actually a pretty sizable space. You don't have to put it right in the same room. It allows you to make a big elaborate treasure room for your clan, for example, and have it kitted out, the glitz and glam everywhere, and have all, put your jade war horns or cat statues, arrange them in however you want, etc., etc.
Here's another statue. Boop.
And so these various things will be appearing pretty much at random at various camps throughout the world. And in fact, I believe we can touch on this a little bit later when we talk about combat, but a lot of camps have also just been kind of redone or rebalanced or just repopulated in various ways as well.
This guy's forearm strength is insane.
That's a hell of a posture, dang. Yeah. I think that's core strength, actually. It's you're holding it there, but then lower back is just oh yeah.
Getting pulled out.
Yeah, a diving emote so you can Scrooge McDuck into the gold pot.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
No.
What?
Huh?
What just happened?
Oh, sorry. I just realized that I didn't move the video over. Anyway, yeah, so we have a diving animation. We can show that.
Oh,
Yes.
I was joking.
No, we're actually adding a new diving animation into the update, and I had a little clip of like the character jumping off like one of the big bridges and falling. But yeah, you kind of did it here, yeah. So you can actually, in fact, swan dive. If you want to jump 3 feet and then go head first into your pile of coins, go hog wild. You can do that. Yes, off the top rope. Got him. Let's go.
A lot of these treasures that you can pick up too have little interactions, so they'll like play a sound whenever you interact with them.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. We have a couple other new items actually along those lines too, which we can show in a bit. I think we had a couple that we laid out.
I don't know if it was totally clear, but like all these gold piles and everything on the floor and everything are things that you can put out, so you can make the room look however you want.
Yeah, this is just like how we dressed it up. Like this is how our guy over in Oslo, Tor Egil Anderson, the person who like builds all these like huge bases for all our like marketing B-roll and other screenshots. He builds stuff like this, and so yeah, he arranged the room however he wants. I can imagine in chat right now being like, oh yeah, it's too big for claim spam. I know.
We also have,
but that's why we do it on private servers.
We'll show stuff later, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we can show that too. And since it's right there, I mean, we have new dungeon pieces that are coming up as well. I did see someone make a comment about like, make a joke about like, oh yeah, it's the age of death by Snoo Snoo or something like that. And we saw the tweet and we were like, heh.
Yeah, someone linked the image of Fry's app and Kip actually in the shackles, and I was like, they have no idea how close to reality that actually is.
Yeah, so you can chain yourself up to them, or actually you can also throw a thrall.
Yeah, you can put unconverted thralls into this as well. Right now you can't take them out. That's the thing we might change later, like making it unconverted thrall storage or something. But for now, it's just you put one in and they're stuck in there.
And so
until you replace it. Or
if you want to put in, you have to destroy the thrall and have it replaced in order to. Video games, folks. So we have the horde room. We have all this. And yeah, like I guess the main thing is like, why is this important to you? Why is this something you should care about? Like you want to like build up your resources because later you're going to be able to use those funds that use that currency you've accumulated for a ton of things for your clan and for your base and for your server basically. We have a lot of really awesome stuff cooking up.
It'll also be what determines the difficulty of the purge.
That's right.
So. If you want to get high tier ones, you should have a high, full overflowing coffer.
Yeah, if you have a huge horde, then yeah, you're gonna get a consummate bunch of folks being like, "Hey, let me get some of that." I'm trying to break your walls down to get a piece. And so like, obviously with clan hordes being a thing, like. There's definitely an emphasis on like clan unity and bringing your players under the same banner, and so to that end, also we also wanted to make sure that clans and players and communities finally had better ways to express their own like individual group's identity, and so we are going to also be rolling out a new clan emblem workbench. Clan emblem totem, which allows you to customize with some caveats for your clan to display on various items and new placeables that we're adding as well. I think what's going into the update are a couple different shields. One of them is equipped on the character right here that displays your clan emblem, as well as a variety of building placeables and wall pieces and various banners that you can put around your base as well.
So you can see some banners up in the distance up there.
My pink fish.
Actually, one of the sickest things you can get is in the other corner of this base that I know the layout of very well.
Very intimately, yeah.
So that appears on your horse as well.
Yeah. So and then we'll go into it in a little bit also, but when someone with permissions to update the emblem for your clan updates it, it is automatically propagated across every surface that your clan owns that is able to display a banner, so you don't have to like go back and like painstakingly update each individual piece or anything like that. And then there'll also be some permissions as well. So like If you can only set it so like a certain person or a person of a certain rank of a clan can edit the emblem, and like the basic recruits like cannot, for example, in order to prevent griefing. So here's the UI that we're working with, and so you'll be able to choose from a variety of emblems and backgrounds that they're preset. I saw a question in chat asking if you can import your own emblems. We won't be allowing that for this feature, just because that opens up a lot of unfortunate.
Adult content.
Yeah, it's just you just know people are going to use that to troll people, and it's like that's just not something that we want, and we have the ability to it's just not something that we want for anyone really. And so we'll have a bunch of preset emblems and backgrounds that you can choose from, and we'll be adding more as time goes on as well. We'll also be adding a variety of emblems, for example, to Battle Pass rewards. And that might, for example, be take the place of like maybe some of those wall sprays that we've seen a lot of comments about, just to help increase the value of those. And then also, in case you're wondering, also you yourself. So as long as the person setting the emblem has a special emblem learned that doesn't come by default, that's still displayed for everyone who has a thing. That's still like if that gets updated, everyone still gets to show it off, even if like if Dennis has a special emblem and I don't. Or like he got like some emblem from somewhere else that I don't know myself. I still get to show it off on my thing because he set the banner and then it shows up on my stuff. So just in case that's a concern.
Everyone in the clan will see the same image no matter what it's set to, whether you own that thing or not.
Pardon.
Of course.
Yes.
Cool.
So and then we'll be adding more things that also like we also intend on adding more things that also show clan emblems, and again we'll be showing off and adding more emblems in the future as well. Just trying to read through here. Let's see here. So I think that's about it for the clan features that we have coming up, and these are the basic things that we're adding for the first phase of the Age of War. We wanted to move into combat updates in a bit, but I also wanted to take a minute to see if there's any like additional questions that we can answer about some of the clan features now, and then we can move into the major combat stuff, the nitty-gritty system stuff. What happens if Purge is disabled?
You just won't be able to summon a Purge.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing I can talk a little bit more about too. The Purge isn't going to be an overbearing system that just occurs because you play the game. It will become an opt-in system. So now when you want to purge, just like the convergence trap, you'll be able to say, I would like a purge now, and basically press a button for it and summon the purge to attack you. It won't just happen for no reason.
And all that, pretty much as far as I know, like all the stuff that we're going to be showing off here will also be available on SIPTA as well, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like any changes that we make to like specific map elements in the Exiled Lands, which there might be some small changes with the shift into a new age. Some things from the prior age may have changed a little bit.
Yeah, some things from the old age have changed. Some new people are showing up.
Yeah. Some notable NPCs may, for example, have taken a load off, lost a few pounds. really trimmed some weight off their body, Yo, okay, we got a question from chat.
Are there permissions for storage, like for the coffer and stuff, like clan permissions at all, or to keep teammates or clanmates from taking
just like ganking the gold?
That won't really be expanded upon until the second chapter. I am almost positive that is in our design for it, so not just anyone can spend it. So eventually, yes, but in chapter 1, it's going to be anyone can move whatever's there.
So but
there's nothing to do with it really. The actual value in chapter 1.
Yeah, you just want to collect because then you'll be able to use that for the purges in the next chapter. And obviously, like when you're in your clan, like make sure you recruit people that you trust. Like that's just kind of like we can't really like govern all that. Like that's kind of up to you and your community. Yes, question from chat.
What happens if someone takes your shield that's got your emblem on it? Does it change the emblem to your current emblem, or does it keep the emblem, or like?
It would change to match your guild your clan if your clan had an emblem. If they don't have one, it's either going to revert to like a default or
like have a blank surface or something. Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, right now, and always, it'll just do whatever your clan has. So if you take it from someone, your clan emblem appears on that.
That is a really neat idea, though, like the idea of like a trophy or something like that from like kills you've made from enemy players or something like that. Yeah, that is a cool idea. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. Just going over chat just like really quick again and swapping back over to gameplay.
Someone said alliances would be nice. We actually have a plan right now in the 3rd chapter to allow people to be able to make an alliance, but it's still going to require some play testing and stuff like that too. The whole idea is just that you'd be able to make a temporary alliance with another person or clan, and that would just reduce the amount of PvP damage you deal to them, and it would remove target locking, just like if you're in a normal clan with someone. And then after some period of time or some event, that would get broken, but that is in our plans.
What about, Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of comments about the PlayStation 5 specifically. I'm not personally aware of any details about that right now, and so I'm sorry we can't directly address that in today's stream. Oh, something I will say, though, something that we are aware of and we're working on a fix for that should be in this update is I know a lot of folks have talked about like disconnects. And that is something that we actually have a fix in for in testing right now. And so, yeah, well, we hope to have that out most likely with the Age of War update, which will be coming a little bit later. But we do have a handle on it, so
yeah,
be assured. Yeah, we are aware that we know that's something that a lot of folks are worried about.
We know it's a while out, but the process to get updates out is lengthy, so it's about the soonest we really can get it out.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like if it was just like Steam, for example, it would be one thing. But yeah, with their other partners in publishing, like on consoles, there's a lot of additional steps and certifications that we have to do. So it's not as simple a process as like push button send update.
Yep.
As much as we'd love it to be, sadly. Okay, just wanted to move on. We'll take some more questions towards the end, but we still have a lot of meaty stuff to cover. And so I wanted to segue into combat and combat mechanics and combat changes.
This is all free updates so far.
Yeah. So so everything shown right here is just, it's going to come baked in with the Age of War update when that launches. We don't have a release date to share at this moment. However, it may go into, it's going to be on public beta extremely soon. We'll talk about that in just a sec. But yeah.
The armor set I was wearing is not free, right?
Well, sorry.
That's monetized. But all the stuff we've talked about,
so
the content is going to be free.
Yeah, so all the features and such like that, like, the new clan systems, like the horde and emblem systems, all the combat stuff, and then all the future things we're talking about also, you won't. These are all going to be free updates. We're sticking to our commitment of like having these like major gameplay features be like the big free updates that you get, just like sorcery, for example, and then the what kind of like supports the development of that and really funds the development of that is like the systems that you see, like the battle pass and the bazaar and such like that. So we hope you're loving like the free stuff that we're able to give you with this. So again, thank you for your support because that's what allows us to put out this really cool stuff and realize our vision for the game without charging for it for new features. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully that addresses some of your concerns. And again, I know you're going to have a ton of questions and there'll be plenty of time to ask them. There'll be places, we welcome you to drop comments on the forums as well or on social media. We always read that. Just please be constructive if you can. If you're really angry, just, try not to use expletives, don't make it personal. Anyway, sorry. Talking about making it personal, we're going to now detail some big changes to the combat paradigm within Conan Exiles. Dennis.
Yeah, this might seem a little bit scattered because there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'll probably remember some of it while I'm talking about it.
Yes.
We're addressing two big things in this age. One of them is that we are working on AI in general. So we know that right now on servers with a decent number of players, it starts to break down pretty bad. Even if you're playing in single player, it's not always terribly interesting. So we're kind of coming in on both of those fronts, right? Like, let's try to make it fun to fight things to begin with, and then also try to fix those on servers. Mm-hmm. So to begin with, one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest issues that I had was players seem to have almost infinite stamina, and I know a lot of people will might recognize this with like dagger spam, for instance, right? Like just spamming light attack on daggers. It auto targets your enemy and keeps going, and you can just spam it forever because it costs 8 stamina. So one of the first big things we did was increase the cost of stamina for attacks and increase the regeneration rate of stamina. So now there's a point where you can run out of stamina and get stamina back again. That gives other players and AI a chance to actually attack you. Before this update, we had a system in that would let AI just become invulnerable to stuns for a short period of time. And when you're playing the game, it feels like a bug because you know when you hit something, it should get stunned. So why after I hit it for 2.5 seconds does it stop getting stunned? So we took that system out completely and just made enemies, they get the chance to attack back now when you run out of stamina. We also did a HP nerf across enemies, or for enemies across the board, which also makes your character feel stronger. And we increased the amount of damage that a lot of enemies do as well to increase their threat. So there's a little bit more tension in combat now than there was before. That's really the whole aim to all of the changes, is to increase like the ebb and flow of combat to make it feel like there are more tense moments and moments where you can breathe and kind of overcome an enemy. Let's see. The new 2-skull champion enemies. So for 1, 2, and 3-skull enemies, we also rebalanced their difficulty with the idea essentially that the number of skulls reflected the number of players we would think that you would need to fight them. So you can still kill the Red Mother, which is still 3 skulls by yourself. It'll just take longer. We're trying to reduce the amount of feeling of health sponge of enemies. Weapon classifications updated.
Yeah, so we are recategorizing a number of items to be classified with the unique, epic, and legendary distinctions.
Right.
And so, kind of part of that is that legendary weapons are getting giga buffed. We know legendary weapon. We've seen a lot of feedback from players saying that they just feel like legendary weapons just don't really aren't consummate with their title. Like they don't really feel legendary, and so we want to address that. So legendary weapons will be they will take the throne of being just extremely powerful weapons. However, they will not be craftable anymore. Is my understanding.
They won't last forever either.
Yes,
and.
So yeah, legendary weapons will be like at the very top tier of like end game items that you collect through adventuring, and then under that would be epic items, which are still craftable, really powerful, but a legendary item of a similar classification or similar tier or like level tier. A legendary weapon will or should be the intent is that it will outperform the legendary.
Oh, it will.
Yeah. Nice, cool. And then under that are uniques. Sorry.
It won't outperform. The legendaries will be the top no matter what.
Okay, cool.
Like no matter what, that's going to be the best thing you can get.
Cool.
Then there's also, whenever we play test, we found ourselves going into camps a lot and seeing, we would loot a lot of chests and there was a lot of stuff to find, but we never really found anything interesting in those chests. So in the second chapter, there will become a really big revamp to the amount of, the type of items that you find in a chest. We have plans like we never add base materials, so you'll never loot plant fiber or sticks from a chest again. It has to be unique items or combined materials. Additionally, we made a new tier of weapon called a unique weapon, which will have a blue border, and the blue border weapons will be better than what you can typically craft in their given tier. But they will also, you won't be able to repair them forever. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I've said it a couple times now.
Yeah. And then unique weapons are still strong, but they themselves will still be outperformed by their epic and legendary counterparts for the most part. But they'll still be really good. Like if you get one, it'll carry you for a while for sure.
Yeah, and there's 5 total tiers of weapon strength, and legendary sits at the top, and then working yourself from stone to iron to. We have a section that's like
the steel stuff.
Well, there's steel, and then there's all rare stuff.
Oh yeah. I saw okay, got it.
We put Kari steel and obsidian and anything that's just not basic steel, basically in its own tier, and they're called rare metal or rare ore weapons, and they're just a bit under legendary. But also the last bullet point on Andy's slide is durability now has to be managed. I think I've spilled the beans several times on stream that one of our design guidelines for Exiles is that nothing is permanent. And you should basically always have to work to maintain and keep things up so that, the world is pushing back against you. And with weapons right now, it's not really the case because you can get or build one weapon and keep that weapon forever just by repairing it over and over again. So in this update, there will be a bit of a rebalance there as well, where when you repair an item, it will lose its maximum durability. Depending on the quality of repair kit you use, that durability may be more or less. But you will have to use repair kits to repair things, and you won't be able to keep those items forever because of that. This is a big thing, especially for legendaries, because we want you to explore in the world. We want you to leave your base and go out and get something cool, be excited that you got it, and bring it back and use it whenever you feel like it's a good situation. So I know that might sound very scary. The numbers are pretty forgiving, though. It's not. If you guys are familiar with playing Breath of the Wild, some weapons in that game might break very quickly.
Yeah, we're not going to have...
We're not trying to copy it.
Yeah. We're not going to have weapons break in 3 hits, don't worry.
Yeah, your things will last long, even with the worst repair kits, but they will not last forever.
Yeah, and then also as a side point also, legendary repair kits are being renamed to Grandmaster repair kits to avoid any confusion with legendary kits and legendary weapons. And then also as a side point, any journey steps that previously required you to craft a legendary item will be changed to just require an epic weapon of a similar type instead. So that shouldn't block you as well. And in case we missed anything, obviously, please let us know. It's going up in tests soon, so let us know. So yeah, obviously this sounds kind of scary, but we're hoping that, and we might be able to kind of show an example of kind of what that might look like, but don't worry. Once you get your hands on it, we're hoping that it doesn't sound as scary. And obviously, please leave your feedback, when you do get your hands on it and play around, because we're all going to be listening to that.
Yeah, same with the stamina changes. I don't know if we didn't really show it off yet, but they cost a lot more stamina now. But the flip side of the coin is your stamina comes back much faster.
Yes.
So, you really find yourself doing little strings of combos and then waiting a second, giving some breathing room, and then doing some more. So I have a character right now that isn't, they have some grit. I think it's coming from these, from these armor pieces. They have a little extra stamina. So they don't have the base 100 stamina. And I'll just give a couple examples of some weapons. So I think this is a one-handed sword, not a short sword. It is a short sword. So a short sword, basically the rule is the smaller the weapon, the less stamina it costs to swing in general. And it should feel very natural. So when I use light attacks with this sword, you can see it's taking about 20, maybe a little less, 19 stamina or something like that. And then when I use heavy attacks, the heavy attacks are much more costly. They're taking more, the other ones are 15 and these are 20, basically.
Yeah, you'll see across the board, you'll see stamina costs for attacks. Previously, I think weapon attacks cost between 3 and 9 stamina, and then across the board they'll cost from 10 to up to 40 stamina per swing. But on the same token, you'll also notice that your stamina, the delay before stamina starts regenerating, is almost instant. So previously it used to be up to almost 3 seconds. Yeah, almost 3 seconds before your stamina starts to regenerate, and now it's 0.1 seconds across,
it's 0.1.
Yeah, 0.1 seconds.
The lowest we can set it.
Okay, basically. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so it's as close to instant as you can possibly make it within our engine. So you're spending your stamina a lot faster, but you're regaining it much faster as well. And so you get this overhaul to stamina management. I think the idea is to create a more back and forth flow to combat. Where dodging and blocking is more important, and especially now that enemies aren't getting they don't become immune to the hit stun. If you land good hits in, you create more openings, etc., etc. And in addition to that, all heavy attacks for all weapons across the board, I believe, are going to do more damage and will apply some sort of secondary effect on hit, whether that be cripple or sunder or bleed, etc., etc. So weapon types previously that didn't have apply debuffs or whatever on a heavy attack will now have them. It's a weapon per weapon basis on what gets what. you'll be able to see in the patch notes when we post them later.
Yeah, and that's really an effort to reduce confusion as well, because we increase the cost of attacks, which means with some weapons you're not going to be able to do a full combo. Like if you have 100 stamina and a two-handed axe, you're not going to be able to get the final hit in, right? So just making the status effect apply on every heavy attack is a lot less confusing, and it's easier to get them out. Just feels better across the board. And to contrast this, what I was showing before, this is the two-handed mace. So those attacks are significantly more costly. I think it's something in the ballpark of like 45 stamina.
Yeah,
per swing.
it drains a ton of stamina. Yeah, but ideally also maybe you want to actually put some points in grit.
And that's the thing. So now if we actually go back and we put points in grit, which I saved some up just for you guys. We can actually swing it and we can actually do the whole combo now with just a few points in the stat.
Yeah, and then with the regen perk also, you just get your stamina like super duper fast anyway, so you can just like kind of dart in and out of combat and time your swings better instead of just like kind of sitting there and hoping to face tank it or hoping that your enemy is still hit stunned by it or something like that.
Yeah, speaking of that too, we're also starting to work now on the ability to rotate while you're performing an attack. So I'll try to make this not too nerdy, but there's a certain window of time after you commit to an attack that you'll be able to turn your character to continue targeting while you're swinging. Right now, one of the things that feels worst in combat is when an enemy is walking kind of near you or past you, and you swing, and you were aimed at them whenever you started the attack, but then they just kind of sauntered past you, and then you miss. So now you'll be able to keep tracking that target and hit it as well. It's not going to be like an aimbot, like it's not a guaranteed
right,
hit,
yeah.
But it's like if I do this heavy attack, when he's winding back, until he actually brings that hammer down, I can re-aim the attack.
Yeah. So like the idea there is to bring down just make it feel more fluid and like less like clunky, relatively speaking, considering you're wielding a giant hammer or axe.
Yeah.
And then someone in chat also made a comment about it, but like the heavy attacks from like this mace, for example, might cost a ton of stamina, but like I believe we're also substantially increasing the damage of heavy attacks for most things.
Yeah, and in chapter 1 there are some heavy attack buffs, but in chapter 2 that's when you'll see it hit full force.
Yeah, I think I
was just gonna say we want to make it feel like it was worth the stamina cost that you paid for it.
Yeah. And again, in playtesting, like obviously we want your feedback on it. So if you really feel like especially in testing, like if you feel like it's just not worth it, please let us know, because we can change that before it goes live. But yeah, across the board, like heavy attacks will probably, depending on the weapon, will probably do between like 5 and up to 20% more damage, depending on the weapon type, which is exciting. And then like a bunch of other like things like changes to some of combat multipliers, and I think change to shield durability and a couple things. Tons of things in the patch notes. And of course, also, since you were also talking about like a little bit of the extra like wiggle room for targeting, we're also adding some updates to how targeting functions as well. I think outside of this base, there should be some like elephants already that you can just like run out and go find. But I know a lot of folks have. Okay, I mean you can just. I think it's right out the door. Okay. But we know that, like, something that a lot of folks have mentioned is something I personally have also run into is when you're facing off against really large enemies like a dragon or a mammoth, might be on the other side. It just locks onto like their one point, and you're just kind of like sitting there like struggling to have the camera like follow along, and people with like motion sickness issues also kind of have issues with that. And it's just I don't want to just stare at. Anyway, you all know the pain. So there's multiple target anchor lock like points now on like, for example, on all the mammoth's legs. So now instead of like desperately trying to target some anomalous blob inside their body, you can actually like target their legs, and each one is an individual point. So as like if you move your targeting cursor, yeah, you can lock onto each individual point, which when you're not getting your ass trampled by mammoths should at least help with being able to follow along combat, or if you want to stick to their butt and do backstabs, it should be a little bit easier to follow along.
Yeah, we're trying to put those on, like right now they're on things like frost giants, dragons, mammoths, so anything that's like really big, where you typically find yourself aiming like way high, because whenever you aim at the character, when you aim at an enemy, your character tries to swing at the lock-on point. So right here they swing really high, but right here they swing really low, so it's a lot easier to actually hit them now.
Oh, sorry, I'm just watching this man with like yakety sax, your horse. Sorry. Yeah, what's up?
So there are concerns. Sorry, I'm going to try speaking louder. I'm behind the camera.
Yeah. So Nicole's in the back over here, just like, reading chat and relaying questions to us.
There are concerns with these stamina changes in regards to sorcerers and corruption.
Right, yeah, I did see that. Like, max corrupted sorcerers will have a lot less stamina to work with, and
you pretty much have to invest in grit if you want to be using sorcery like that and still fighting in combat without your followers doing it for you. We still might make some changes here. I'm not totally sure yet. I did playtest several days recently playing a maxed out corruption build with the stamina changes, and you have to select an appropriate weapon and probably use some stamina gear. But if you max out your grit and you wear clothing with stamina on it, it's really not a problem. And I think that players, even regardless of having corruption or not, will find that to be the case. So if you still feel like, hey, I don't have enough grit and I want more, you can still max your grit out, wear stamina gear, and you'll have just as easy a time as now. But that's that was a choice you made. You chose you chose to wear that stamina gear because you wanted more stamina. That's the way you develop your character.
People think you're a monster right now.
I just have yakety sax playing on repeat right now, just watching these wolves chase this poor horse around.
They're like, sir, your horse.
Your poor horse.
Please.
Oh, as an aside, also I should say, creatures like wolves and such like that across the board also are going to be much dead. Like, they have lower health across the board, but deal more damage to you. And so, like, a pack of wolves were already not super easy to fight, but when I was testing these things out at this base, I ran into that pack of wolves outside and immediately got slaughtered, like instantly. I was like, oh shit.
Well, I can speak a little bit more to that too, because that's also kind of in our plans, going forward. We're working on some more systems that we think will come in the second chapter that will limit the number of enemies that attack you simultaneously. As we test and as we go through camps and play with the game in a different way than we've played with it before, we find that like fighting a stream of enemies is really the most fun. So we're going to try to have enemies basically manage themselves in a way that they don't come at you necessarily one at a time, but it might be 2 or 3 at a time at most. Well, anyone else that would be engaging with you is kind of just background noise, like taunting in the distance. And that actually might be a good segue to talk about camps as well.
Yeah.
So we've done a pass on all of the camps in Exiled Lands and in Sipta. And we've kind of changed the way enemy senses work. Basically, actually, hold on. I'll give you guys the best example because this is the most pleasing version of it. I'm just going to turn God mode on so you can.
Oh yeah, and please don't worry about the logo still saying Age of Sorcery. This is still
all the
development
UIs
build.
and stuff are.
Most of it is. So you'll see some of this menu stuff is new. This is all stuff that we've been working on also.
Some of it's probably going to be replaced as well. It was our first pass.
Yeah. So again, not everything shown here is not necessarily representative of like the final product.
Oh yeah, Normal Sky is back. We'll talk more about that stuff when we do the quality of life stuff as well, though. But here's the cool thing. So now, whenever I run up to New Azagarth, I aggro these guys out front, and that's it. There's not going to be like 500 other guys coming from inside.
Oh my god.
Even this guy, like, look, I'm this close right now, and he doesn't even want to murder me. So yeah, we've kind of reduced the senses on us, a lot of stuff, and the cry for help on a lot of stuff. So you don't just pull an entire huge place at once.
For those that really enjoyed that, you still can Leroy Jenkins if you really want to, but yeah, for most folks, like the call for help, like aggro radius on like allies or allied enemies was pretty huge, and it was really easy to just get mobbed really fast. Yeah,
I would be swarmed by this.
Yeah, the whole village would be aggroed on you. You'd die instantly. So yeah, like we wanted to limit the number of people that you're fighting all at once because now combat is balanced around you fighting 1 or 2 people at most. Otherwise, it becomes pretty tough actually, or you just have to disengage and run and hope that you can take them off one by one or however you want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it feels really good. Whenever you come in and clear one of these camps out, it feels like you're making progress through the camp. It doesn't feel like you're just getting chased by a ton of guys. And we've updated leeching rules too, so enemies won't chase you nearly as far as they used to in most cases. Yeah, there's a lot going into the combat changes, and that's why I say, you know, it's going to be hard for me to even remember everything off the cuff because there's so many little things here and there.
Yeah, and I see some people in chat also talking about, like, well, what about, you know, how am I going to distribute your points? I mean, that's kind of up to you. I mean, I think it's reasonable to say and expect that, you know, the sort of like the meta, to use that term, will change with each chapter, with each age. Like, I think it's reasonable to expect that some paradigm changes will come up, and we will ask you to like assess your strategy or your build and come up with new things. Yeah, like, you know, keeps things different. Yeah.
Look, you can't have both. You can't complain about the meta being stale and complain when we change things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can always let us know.
Yeah,
but
you can complain. It might not be 100% valid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I mean, it's always valid.
Sure, it's valid for you.
It is.
But yeah. So like, we have to pick and choose, and so this is the direction that we want to go with, and you know, we look forward to the discussion and the builds that end up coming up because
ultimately it's about making it fun. You know,
yeah, like
it's about making the moment-to-moment gameplay.
Yeah. Like, ultimately, we want to rule of cool it. So like, if it's fun, like, that's the most important thing, and obviously, like, fun is also a subjective thing. So we want to hear what you guys say.
You play games for fun?
No.
Not because you hate yourself?
No. I mean, I already hate myself, but you know, yeah, that's why I play online.
Nothing to do with the game.
No, yeah. That's a corollary. That's totally fine. Oh, Nicole. Okay. So yeah, that is. Sorry, had a little brain fart. I'm losing myself here really quick. Let's see. Going over some of my notes. Do we have any other questions from chat really quick? I like you, Andy. Thanks. Thanks, bud. A little self-love in your life. You know, that's something that I've been, you know, it's an ongoing process, right? Like, self-care and self-love are all very, like, nebulous and sometimes difficult to accomplish tasks, especially if you have poor executive function like I do. So shout-outs to all my depressed gamers out there. Let's go. Let's go.
We'll announce the dates at the end.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, we got just updated clarification on dates. But yeah, we'll talk about it in just a sec.
There's a good question. Will you fix double jump Goomba builds? Yes, actually. We have a change going into this update that'll come in Chapter 1 that changes it from requiring one person standing on a head to two people standing on a head. So you really have to coordinate to get the achievement now, but it will stop people from, unless it's like a teleporter squash, which could still happen, it's going to be a lot harder to Goomba people.
Do you mind if I just, like, fuck around?
You can do absolutely anything you want. Do you want to change seats?
I just want to fight. Nah, that's fine. Okay. We don't have to do anything crazy like that. I just want to show people how bad I am at this game. Just because also we're just standing here, I just want to move around a little bit. So while we're taking some questions, I'm just going to have some gameplay. Maybe I should just, like, build some blocks and jump over them and just have that be the entire stream.
What about stamina when climbing?
Pretty much unchanged. Climbing, sprinting. The jump, we mentioned jump earlier. Jump's not a ton more expensive anyway. Like, Andy, if you do it right now, I think it's like 10 stamina. Yeah, it's 8.
Yeah, it's 8 stamina right now, but I think if I had double jump, it increases.
Well, there was no charge for the second jump before.
Oh, that's right.
So now the second jump costs stamina as well.
So you might also see the build that I also have here is a max agility build because I found that with the changes, the personal suggestion, obviously we're not telling you how to play, but I really like rolling thrust for reasons you can probably imagine. If you're not familiar with it, after your roll, your next attack doesn't cost stamina and has increased armor penetration. So it's super fun. I really like it. So that's kind of what we mean by, like, you know, the value of certain talents or the way you want to align your talents is going to be different. And we're hoping to, just shake things up a bit.
Yeah.
Will modders be able to mod the new clan features?
That was part of what I requested for people to be able to add emblems. I'm not 100% sure if that is the case or not right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
What was the question?
Will modders be able to mod the clan features?
Oh, yeah. So will modders be able to mod clan features? Right.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't have a 100% definite answer right now, but I think it should be the case. With any new features that we add, we try to make them mod accessible. And that was one that right off the bat, in the initial spec sheet I gave the team, I was like, I would like modders to be able to add their own. So we'll have to follow up on that, make sure it happened.
Will weapons be getting new move sets?
New movesets weapons?
We don't have. I don't think there's any new movesets in this one, in this update. A lot of the stuff that we're doing is with combat changes, and especially with AI, is also intended to let us kind of make a baseline for the combat to be designed with better interplay. So we might see some changes come to specific attack animations or potentially new animation sets for weapons, depending on how well that attack or weapon is doing with the standard for AI. They'll kind of dictate the way a player plays.
Oh, actually, while we're doing this really quick, I think this is also a good time to just show off some of the new visuals and sets that we might be able to, we're adding to the game as well. Because, yeah, we can show off some of the new Battle Pass stuff coming up. Because obviously, like, with the new age, with the new chapters comes new Battle Pass, new items in the Bazaar. We can still take questions while I show some of this stuff off.
And also keep in mind work in progress.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go ahead and announce the dates. The blog is out, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So just so y'all know, the public beta for Age of War is available tomorrow, May 23rd. You can visit our forums to find out details on how to access it. It just involves installing a separate like public beta client from Steam. You can also type, I believe, !beta to get a link to the forum. That's only for you in Twitch. If you're watching a recording, you just go to forums.funcom.com, head over there, check things out. And then Age of War itself is set to launch June 22nd, 2023. Ba-bum.
Someone said, "Fix the purge are broken" in chat. Where you been, dude?
Oh.
That's a huge part of what we just revealed. We're doing the purge.
So yeah, the first level reward is this Tyranian bandit armor, which is what we're wearing on our character right now, and a special clan emblem. And so yeah, we're adding some clan emblems and other things to the battle pass as well. And of course, new emotes, new placeables and building pieces. Yes,
that's actually a new feature as well.
Weapon emotes. That's right. Yeah.
We missed an entire feature, but yeah, we're changing the emote system to work in a way that they can be contextualized. So if you have a sword in your hand, you can do a sword emote. So if you have the right emote and the right weapon, weapon emotes.
So let's see if I can do. This is a nice two-handed sword. Let's see. Oops.
There are no plans for mods on consoles at this time.
It's not on our roadmap right now.
Wait, what?
I think that.
Repeat the question. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Someone asked about mods on consoles. It's not on our roadmap right now, so it definitely won't happen during the Age of War.
Why can't I?
It's a thing that we all would love to do because we all recognize the value that mods brings Exiles.
Do I have weapon emotes involved? Actually, hold on. Sorry.
But it's a big task, and I'm not sure when it'll happen, but we would like it to.
And then with this update, there's also going to be a lot of bug fixes. Like, it's not just new features.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah. Sorry, just a second here. I'm getting messages from folks being like, "Hey, what are you doing?" We are still evaluating the possibilities, but yeah, because of the technical limitations in RAM and stuff like that, it's just really tough.
Yeah, memory is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Exiles uses a lot of memory because it has a lot of high definition materials and textures, and mods cost memory. So
yeah. Oops.
Lots of questions on character transfers.
Yeah? I don't know. There's not really a whole lot we can go into about that, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, where are they listed? Do I have it learned? I think the command that I was given is not correct. Sorry. Anyway, we'll have new weapon emotes. So, like, the shield, for example, will have like a shield bash animation. If you're holding your two-handed sword, you put him in like a guardian stance like this, like a sentinel. Apologies for that. We'll definitely be able to show them off at a later time.
Is this? Did you get that?
Yeah, that should be set to true. I just don't think I've learned it, and the command that I had for it is not working, unfortunately. Excuse me. But that's okay. So yeah, we'll have like weapon emotes planned for other weapons as well, like a spear training emote. I think a couple other things as well that are be available there. And so you'll notice that a lot of the things that we have are still like very, let's see, Stygian themed.
Yeah.
Because some, Conan and Hyborian Age lore masters may recall the Stygians are a powerful force within the land, and they see an opportunity, and so we may see lots of them come by. Or
yep, and that'll play into the second and third chapters of this age, and it's not really. I mean, at this point, if you're not connecting the dots, the Stygians are coming to the Exiled Lands, in more force than they're currently there. They're going to set up a fortress in the Exiled Lands, and they're going to start to rake some cash into it.
And it's time. They're going to build up, so it's time to build up to fight back.
Yep.
So yeah, sorry about not being able to show the whipping emotes currently, but there's an example of a 2D image of what you can expect it to look like. So we're excited to have this, and then later on, we want to add more emotes, including like potentially like paired emotes, for example, or like maybe even fatality animations.
That might be part of Chapter 3. Yeah.
Maybe those are the things that's on like our stretch goals for like Age of Wars.
No, fatalities are in the plan for Chapter 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, so when you kill guys, it's not just going to be the incredible crash dummy explosion of limbs,
just body parts everywhere.
Yeah, there'll be a chance for you to really dismember them.
Yeah, and of course, like having two character models like choreographed and play an animation together is actually kind of a more complicated of a technical achievement than you might imagine. So the more work goes into it than you might think. Okay, we'll give that a shot. Let's see here. What? Well, so okay, for those of you messaging us over Slack, when I have a weapon out and I hold the wheel thing down, I just don't get any option for anything, and I don't think I actually have the emotes learned. So that's okay. It's okay. We'll show it off at another time.
The beta is only for PC.
Yes. So sorry. Yeah. So the beta is only available for PC, but of course the Age of War update will be available on all platforms that Conan Exiles is available on. So like that would be on PC, that would be on Xbox and PlayStation. And again, like the update itself will be free. You don't have to pay for like the new features or anything like that. So yeah, the update will be available for all platforms. Don't you worry. But yeah, the testing is only available on Steam through the public beta client.
Quality of life stuff?
Quality of life stuff, yes.
Because I see people asking questions.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so we got through the target lock improvements.
Yes.
Part of what I didn't really talk about with the target lock improvements too is we're adjusting where the actual camera is and where your character appears on screen as well. So that should just feel a lot more nicer and natural as well whenever you're actually locked onto a target.
So yeah, what other quality of life stuff did we want to go over? Because I know some of the spells that we had, like some of the sorcery spells, are going to be updated to be like toggles, for example. So like find resources and Wisp will, instead of being a duration-based buff effect, you just turn it on and then you cast it again to turn it off, so it just stays with you indefinitely until you recast it.
We also think we fixed the thrall decay timer. So whenever you log into a server, it won't just be a bunch of floating thralls in the world. They should actually disappear when they're supposed to. That's good quality of life improvement.
Yeah, and then updates to darkness and lighting.
Oh, yeah, that one's super fun. And we can kind of actually show that one too. If you want to swap over to game mode real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is the middle of the night.
Just a note, when you swap, it kind of...
Yeah, there's a weird sound thing I noticed. Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know.
So, we don't have the Blood Moon Eclipse anymore. Met Camosis and Karak are no longer warring in the Exiled Lands the way they were, so everything's kind of back to normal. But you might notice you can actually see a little more as well. Right now it's the dead of night. About 30 feet or so in front of my character, you can see it's just completely black shadows. But as I go up to them, you can see. So we've adjusted the way lighting works and added a little system in to let you be able to see more in your immediate proximity at night. So you're never going to be stuck in the absolute dead of night again. You'll always be able to see a small area around yourself.
Now, obviously, like, this is still super dark, but like it's not like some of you.
It's not pitch black.
Yeah. Nighttime in Exiled Lands, without the eclipse, has been a pretty brutal affair in my experience. So yeah, having a little bit of like a minimum light radius around you, so you can just see in front of you, is really nice. And then of course, like, torches are still available.
Yeah, the torch is still better.
Yeah. Let's see. Of course, the new diving animation. We saw a little bit of that.
Yeah.
We can. You can Scrooge McDuck if you really want to, and then, of course, like, it works better if you're high diving off of that, or I guess you can slow fall and just like perpetually just stay in that animation forever. And other fixes and quality of life things like chicken dance actually counting for challenges. Leaving and entering dungeons won't make. Will now make grass behave correctly, and then a few updated drop equipment on death server options as well. Bonk. Aw, nice.
That didn't kill me? Oh, creative mode.
Ah, boo.
I tried to turn it off before I hit the ground.
So you just explode, hell yeah. Very good. So I think we can take a few more questions from chat, and then I think then we must bid adieu because we must get on to things.
Lots of people asking about new map stuff at all, or
no new maps right now. Yeah, people asking about new maps. We're not doing a new map right now. Age of Amazon was in fact a joke. I am not so negligent that I would leave an entire presentation up on both screens that shows what the next age would be, and I would certainly not write my presentation in papyrus.
The classic font.
But yeah, I mean, stay tuned. New dungeons and new maps are things that we can and may do in the future. So if Age of War doesn't tickle your fancy, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Because sure you'll be excited about what comes after that.
Yeah, because there'll be new ages after Age of War also. So because we're committed now to, like, again, advancing the tale of the Exiled Lands and like changing things as we move forward. So yeah, there'll be some small changes on the Exiled Lands when Age of War launches as well. Obviously, apart from the Eclipse not being there, and then we're making maybe some other little things here and there as well. Oh, and then new armor sets coming with the update as well. I believe this is a Bazaar item, but this is like a Stygian soldier outfit. Some of you who have been playing like Conan games for a while may recognize this as the armor that was shown in some of the old Age of Conan key art. And we're happy to finally have it realized in the glory of Unreal here.
Someone asked if the Karak dungeon would go away. Yeah, that'll still be there.
Yep.
It's the same as before. You enter the same way and everything. There just might be a little bit of a mess when you get there.
What about the Catan caravans?
Those were temporary content. All of the Conan Exiles, save for a few that you might find straggling in the Exiled Lands, will be gone.
Yeah, they're kind of in they'll be kind of scattered around here and there. I won't say anything.
Yeah. Any PvP news? Kind of. One of the things we will be doing probably in Chapter 2, I think, is revamping trebuchets as well. So the way that you siege people or attack other players might change a bit. There is that. Toying with some other more extreme stuff, but I'm not sure if it will make it into production or not, so I'm not going to tease anyone with it.
Yeah. Is the beacon for Mecha Moses' area going to be the same? No.
No, the beacon is gone. That was a result of the ritual he was conducting, and if you show up there, you might see why it's not there anymore.
Yep. There might be something might have happened. So yeah.
Battering rams. There should be a battering ram in Chapter 2, like a handheld one. We wanted to do a full-on, like, AI pushed cart version of it, but I think we just simply don't have time to put that together. So we'll do one that you can break down doors by hand. We'll probably also consider trying to do like a carry animation, like that same carry animation for the chests, like putting an explosive jar in enemies' hands. So if they're part of the purge wave, they come at you and you can shoot the barrel, the jar from far away and blow them all up.
Scrub brush, excellent.
Sick.
Was the princess saved?
Find out.
Yeah, I mean, you can check tomorrow.
Yeah, right. You'll be able to see for yourself when this goes live tomorrow. I don't have an exact time of when it will be live, but please stay tuned on the forums or on social media, on Twitter and Facebook for. You can see or go follow us here. I don't know if my finger will get cut off, but yeah, go follow us here at Conan Exiles on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all the latest updates on when public beta will be live for Age of War.
I didn't get to wear the sickest set for everybody yet.
There are no plans right now for an official server wipe.
No server wipes.
No, yeah.
We'll pretty much never wipe servers unless we really, 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 really have to. Taking away people's progress in the game is the #1 fastest way to make them stop playing the game. So we will do everything in our power to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. This is a Veneer Shaman armor set that will also be, I can't remember if that's a Battle Pass or Bazaar item, but that will be a vanity set available with the update as well.
Mounts, there will be a new mount coming, but I'm not going to say what it is yet.
Some of you probably have correctly
People
guessed.
have mentioned it in chat already.
Yeah, but we're not going to confirm what it is.
Imps. It's the imps.
It's my finally Gundams. So you can hear Frederick Malmberg just like teleporting behind me, and I was like, no, don't. Okay, and we could sit here and talk and show off all the stuff like pretty much all day, but we do have to get going shortly. So I know there's a ton of questions in chat. And I know tons of folks will have more questions as they come up, especially when the testing period goes live. But please stay tuned for tomorrow when the Age of War Chapter 1 update becomes available for beta testing. And we'll keep you updated on like any changes or anything that comes up during that test, and look forward to a new age dawning over the Exiled Lands on June 22nd.
Yep, public beta tomorrow.
And so again, I think if you type, beta, !beta in chat, I think Nightbot should have a thing that has a link to the public test forum. So go ahead and bookmark that in preparation for tomorrow. We'll put a little blast out on social media announcing when it's live. And you guys can take a first look and take the first steps into the next age of Conan Exiles. Woo! So I think that actually about wraps it up. Any last housekeeping things? I'm going to look over here. Let's see. Also keep an eye out for. Sorry. So we have a question from internally on Slack about some of the QL stuff. One of the changes that we're updating is like a drop equipment on death or different drop equipment on death options. To go into them specifically, there are now options for lose nothing on death. Setting 0, lose everything on death, which is 1 by default, or lose just backpack inventory on death. So you don't just get completely wiped on death. So you just drop like
you keep what's on your hotbar and your armor, I think, and then your actual backpack gets dumped out.
Yeah. So that hopefully allows for like extra granularity for like server admins or private server admins to make it just like a good middle ground between all or nothing. So hopefully that helps kind of enable like still like some consequences for dying, for example, on your private servers, but like again, not all or nothing. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then so other housekeeping things again. So disconnect issues will be resolved, or we have a fix planned in the Age of War update. Twitch drops. So we did have an issue with the Rocknose figurine Twitch drop, which is supposed to be the third Twitch drop campaign that we're running. There was an issue with the actual like placeable item in game, so we did postpone the campaign for that specific item. I don't have details off the cuff on if and or when that will be run again, but we will have we'll have other campaigns in the future as well. So again, just like keep an eye out on our social media, and I think you might even be able to see on like upcoming campaigns on like the Twitch website. I can't remember exactly where you find that, but we'll have that. And yeah, we're sorry for anyone that like was confused by the Rocknose figurine or any streamers that we're hoping to be able to help use that to help grow their stream a little bit. So yeah, we do apologize for that. And speaking of streamers and content creators, of course, also we want to give a very special thank you to Whack, Jordy, Kaya on Fire, and Seema for sharing some exclusive teasers across streaming and showing it off on their channels. If you haven't already, yes, these are some excellent folks within our community. We're really grateful to have them and have so many other folks just like really excited to sink their teeth into the game. So again, yeah, special thanks to those four and all our other content creators, and we'll be in touch with everyone as well for future collab projects and such too.
It is so fun to watch everyone speculate about what.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, when Kaya's teaser came out and the thumbnail turned into Age of the Amazon, I was like, like when I posted the preview up on our forums, I was like, what is this thumbnail guy? I was like, oh no. And then also, for those who are looking on our forums as well, stay tuned also for winners for our Mystic Masterpieces art contest, which we ran and we finished up. We're still reviewing our entries and casting our final votes, and we'll have final announcements by the end of May. And then previously, when we were announcing the contest, we were like, you'll get the next chapter's content or battle pass. This is before we announced Age of War, so now we can just say you're going to get the Age of War Chapter 1 battle pass. If you won. So there's that. I think that's about it. I think that's it. Hell yeah.
Once you get to patch notes, there's so much stuff in the patch notes. And a lot of it at first glance will probably seem scary too, but I think once you get your hands on it and you actually get in game and play it, it's all really
like just like we explained just like we had gone over on stream here, like we know like a lot of the stam changes and the durability changes like sound really scary on paper, but we're confident and hopeful that you'll find it A, not scary, and actually in fact B, ideally fun when you do actually get your hands on it. But again, please let us know. Any final thoughts, friend?
Well, nope. I'm just really excited.
Yeah, look at us. We did it. We did it. This is.
I know as soon as we leave this room, I'm going to think of like 5 things we didn't talk about that I wanted to.
Yeah, and as soon as that door opens and I come out, I'm just going to like flop over and fall on my face on the floor because I'm just like, oh, finally, at last. I do a lot of streams, but I still get really nervous whenever we stream and talk about stuff, and especially on just like really like big announcements like this. Talking about the next like story arc and progression arc for Conan is pretty nerve-wracking.
I just sit here and talk, so it's like zero stress.
Yeah.
He has to actually control the show.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know. I just get really in my head. I don't know how some of y'all that do it every day do it. A lot of respect. I guess that's it, right? Like you do it every day and you just get used to it. And I'm just really anxious and hard on myself. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us on this very special episode. Again, public beta for Age of War begins tomorrow. Full launch for Age of War begins June 22nd. Head to our forums. Let us know what you think. Tell us what your favorite kind of pizza toppings are.
Yep.
My name's Andy. This is Dennis. Say hi to Nicole. Come on over here. Come on over here. Just come on over here.
Okay.
This is the lovely. I know it's a mess back there. The lovely Nicole, my partner in crime here in the NC community team, has been back here helping talk to chat and relay messages from our Slack channels and chat. So thank you, Nicole. Lots of love. Thank you, and lots of love to you for tuning in, watching us, supporting us, playing Conan Exiles. Till next time, friends. Adios and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen, Johnny. And see, maybe, yeah. There.
Good job, guys.